Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Bike versus Infi. Bike has spawned as the red human player over here on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom right, we have Infi spawning as the blue random night elf. Bike not knowing what he's going up against in this matchup. Infi, will he be going for that classic Warden play? That is the question here. Wisp joining on out, and where is this Wisp going? I would have expected the Ancient of War to be built down across here. Instead of down across here, actually being built a little bit further away, and well, it is not going to be a Warden. It looks like it is going to be a Tavern Hero. But why are farms giving 6 food while everything else gives 10? Okay, so farms, okay, so the reason why farms give 6 food compared to all of the other races giving 10, first of all, the town hall I believe gives 12. Compared to all of the other main town hall buildings which only give 10. Also, another difference is that the farms are actually very important for the Sim City aspect of human. Building multiple farms early on is very important to try and protect your base. Farms cost less than Moonwells, Orc Burrows, and Ziggurats as well. So it was a interesting and interesting way. I think was it Chris Siggety? He was one of the executive producers on WarCraft 3. Back in the day, now over at Dreamhaven. Hopefully, if Chris, if you ever watch this, thank you for all you've done. I would be glad to work with you or cover some of your other projects in the future. But it was a great idea to make or give racial identity not only in the units, but also in the buildings. All right, coming back down across over here. Wisp now running on by. We are looking at a Mountain King joining in on the fight. Are we looking at a Tavern Hero? We should be looking at a Tavern Hero. And it is a Goblin Tinker first. All right, so Goblin Tinker first in on Tyrannus stand. Yes, so if you guys were hoping for that classic Warden versus Mountain King, I guess you can say you'd be disappointed, but hopefully none of us are going to be disappointed with a Goblin Tinker first here on Terranistan. Infi being Infi at this stage, playing at such a high level, and I take back all of the critiques I had of you, Infi, back in 2007 and on, when you just played with towers and the human Imba towers at the time where they had up to 800 hit points and were so difficult to destroy. I request a Robo Goblin. Well, you can request a Robo Goblin whether or not you will. If this is a solo Tinker on Terranistan versus human, that would absolutely be hilarious. As the Tinker, as a Robo Goblin, well, one of its advantages is that it is immune to Stormbolt. It is a mechanical unit, so you can't actually Stormbolt him at all. We saw Infi go solo Tinker once before. All right, well, let's see if he does this again versus Bike here, as this Ancient of War looks like it will get taken out. All right, Goblin Tinker making its rounds out, perhaps trying to steal a little bit of experience from the opposite end of the map. The main base is actually pretty wide open, which is a rather scary proposition here, as the Goblin Tinker getting a little bit of, well, a regeneration because of that vampiric aura. Needing to go after that Forest Troll High Priest, those Clockwork Goblins, 12 to 14 damage. Good damage indeed, picked up the item and now is backing away. Meanwhile, Mountain King going after the Renegade Wizard Creep Camp. 5-3-3-4 creep camp off over here. That will get cleared up here in just a moment, as the Forest Troll Shadow Priest is getting focused down quite a bit. A mana stealing, taking away some of that precious mana from the Tinker later on and giving it to a deadly Mountain King who may be able to get to level 3 shortly. What does the extra passive Robo Goblin give? Does it deal more damage to buildings? You know what? I honestly say it's been so long and since and so infrequent that Robo Goblin comes up. I don't remember all of the details that Goblin Tinker and Robo Goblin, all of those bonuses and those abilities. Rogue Wizard gonna get taken down here. You know what? If we saw another Tavern Hero, another interesting Tavern Hero, I'd really really enjoy it very much. Perhaps even an agility-based hero to give human players an agility-based hero instead of having to only go for strength and intelligence heroes. Passive strengthens all other abilities and damage bonus. Yep. Mountain King looking to get that scroll of regeneration, heal back up all of these units. Is he going to use a clarity potion? Probably doesn't even need to, as it's already decent on mana. All right, coming back around, we're looking at Goblin Tinker, still sitting at level 3, has double Rings of Protection +3, so, well, a very, very high, a very large amount of effective hit points now. Each, what is that, 60% more effective hit points, as we're looking at the Rogue Wizard trying, well, is going to get taken down. Goblin Tinker taking a lot of damage here, going to be in a strange spot. What's going on? It actually blocks himself down to 50 hit points, down to 43. Is he going to be able to get away? Yes, it does. Just in time, that Vampiric Aura giving him, well, enough hit points to stay alive, as a Demon Hunter is the second hero. Mantle of Intelligence was dropped right there, and the Footman is now fighting amongst all of those trees, and the Goblin Tinker was unable to get there. Alright, Tinker becomes mechanical, rendering him immune to stun, most offensive spells, and several example of larger AoE cluster rockets, faster spawning for Clockwork Goblins. Yep, just makes the Tinker that much better. I wonder if... I think a level 10 Goblin Tinker might actually be one of the heroes that can actually deal with a level 10 Mountain King. Demon Hunter... I think level 10 Demon Hunter beats every other hero except for the Mountain King in a one-on-one fight. I don't know if that's based on very, very old information. There could be rebalances or rebalancing to all of those heroes, but I think that was the case for quite some time.
Locked and loaded. Job's done. Job's done.
Archmage sitting at level 1, it is Water Elementals. Mountain King, level 4, has Bash and Stormbolt. We're going to be looking at the Demon Hunter sitting at level 2. We're going to most likely be looking at a Stormbolt onto that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter also having 12 armor, 15 armor already, and still going to get taken down because of a Stormbolt followed by Bash. All right, Demon Hunter getting taken down pretty much in an instant here. Meanwhile, Clockwork Goblins, what is going on here? The Tinker could have finished off multiple of those units already. Is it going to try and do some sort of fight here as we see the Tinker just fighting its way through? Meanwhile, we are looking at the Goblin Tinker, the Mountain King and the Archmage trying to engage. We are looking at, well, Hippogriff Riders getting in a lot of damage here. Are we going to finish off a rifle or a water elemental? There it goes. Finishing off, adding in more damage once again. Perhaps going to finish off a Footman as well, as Hippogriff Riders are not normally what you see when your opponent is going Rifleman. Another Goblin Tinker adding in back across here. Going to try to finish off some farms. Those Clockwork Goblins are joining in on the fight as well. Is the Goblin Tinker perhaps going to get to level 4? That is the question. Meanwhile, we are looking at, a Goblin Shredder here. Staff of Teleportation coming in. Yes, I believe that was a Staff of Teleportation. Goblin Tinker ready to make its way back over. All right, Moonwells healing up that Archer. Archer, well, regenerating a lot of hit points, but draining those Moonwells as the Hippogriff Riders are in the air. All right, mass Hippogriff Riders with Goblin Tinker followed by a Demon Hunter. Why not if your name is Infi? As that Water Elemental will get taken down, giving level 4 to that Tinker now. All right, a little bit of an engagement. Where is that? Where is the Archmage trying to go? Archmage is trying to finish off some of those wisps. We could be looking at the death of a Rifleman. There it goes. And one final fireball, not enough to finish off that wisp, who now transforms into a Tree of Life. Demon Hunter sitting at level 2, 15 armor and Vampiric Aura. Pretty much a massive tank at level 2. Also has the ability to shut down enemy heroes, as the Demon Hunter going to be getting a little bit of experience down across here. Demon Hunter, well, with that much armor, pretty much shaking off all of that damage. Goblin Tinker going to get a Tome of Intelligence. I believe that was him. Was making sure that the Tinker was primary attribute intelligence, as the Rogue will get shut down once more. Well, well, this is a game where Infi is just being Infi, and knowing that his overall understanding of the game will give him an advantage when your opponent needs to try to come up with the strategy to deal with mass Hippogriff Riders, a Goblin Tinker, and a level 3 Demon Hunter. We are also looking at Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead, very, very effective at, well, if your opponent does not have Priest, and that's what we're looking at right now. Forest Troll Shadow Priest is not going to have that AoE Dispel, which is so incredibly important. Hippogriff Riders, there are triple towers in the back. And, well, what is going to go down here? All right, Goblins, Demon Hunter, going to go ahead and drop back down. Are we going to see Book of the Dead? There is that Pocket Factory. A lot of damage being absorbed. Units trying to make their way back out. Demon Hunter going after all of these buildings here. As the Demon Hunter, well, if it uses Book of the Dead, would actually be very, very useful here, as the peasants would not be able to get any of the repairs off. A straight up drop inside the base here. Book of the Dead would still be incredibly useful. Flying machines now trying to make their way after all of these units. Just dismount those hippogriffs, and all of a sudden the flying machines are going, no, I am not the better anti-air unit, as the flying machines now being forced to back up. All right, Book of the Dead now being used once more. You see, well, melee units and all of those summoned archers trying to fight back. Scroll of Healing being used here as the Demon Hunter takes in a giant Stormbolt once more. Archers are still fighting quite a decent amount, as we see a Wand of Mana Stealing, and now a forced Scroll of Town Portal to cut your losses. Expansion, entangling that gold mine now. First kill the Arcane Tower, then Book. Yep. But then again, the Arcane Tower was also feedbacking and removing much of the mana from the heroes as well. At that point, do you make sure that you remove the mana from those heroes, or do you try and take down all of those skeletal minions? And the skeletal minions, they would have been able to focus down that Arcane Tower faster as well. That was one of those things where at the time you don't know what the correct move is, but you just try and execute it and hope it works out. Flying machine catching a hippogriff in the middle of the air. Flying machines deciding to back off. They do not want to try and engage against those hippogriffs, as the riders will just dismount and then be able to deal damage back to those flying machines pretty easily. Mountain King selling some items, picking up a Scroll of Healing. We are going into riflemen right now, not even any casters, riflemen and flying machines to help deal with those hippogriff riders. Water Elemental also offering a little bit of protection, as well as we see guard towers being constructed, like the British. But this time, if it works, it works. Yep, pretty much. All right, another drop inside the base here. Demon Hunter, Vampiric Aura with no guard towers to offer any protection. All these units are pretty much on their own. Clockwork Goblins joining in on the fight. Demon Hunter trying to finish off more units. The Goblin Tinkers, are they going to be able to finish off all of these units here? We have a Staff of Preservation, perhaps. Yes, Staff of Preservation, and then Staff of Teleportation. No Stormbolt. Mountain King does not Stormbolt for some reason, as we perhaps could have seen or was there a Stormbolt onto the Demon Hunter prior? All right, Hippogriff Riders now back across over here, putting down pressure as the archers are going to be able to get in some more damage onto these peasants once again. All right, more harassment going back and forth. And at this point, Bike is just wondering, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this harassment? Deal with the Goblin Tinker, who has 12 armor, the Demon Hunter, who has 11 armor. We are also looking at Orb of Venom for damage over time, and this is just a large amount of harassment. Hippogriff Rider gonna get shot down pretty easily right now, down to 100 hit points. One more shot. Oh, there it goes. A final axe in the back from that Forest Troll Berserker. 46 supply compared to 45. Infi having a large amount of gold and an even larger amount of lumber, not spending it on anything yet, as we're going to see the Goblin Tinker get to level 5 at this creep camp. Alright, level 5 Goblin Tinker, Hippogriff Riders, no real upgrades either. And at this point in stage, are we just going to see Infi push with this level 5, level 3 hero combination, leaving behind a Tome of Intelligence +2? Because why not? The Goblin Tinker doesn't need any additional attack damage, as we're going to see a small engagement get in once more. All right, archers trying to fight back against those units. Are we going to get ranged upgrades there? We are getting 600 range right there. Well, we're going to be doing a little bit of fighting. Demon Hunter going to try and get a mana burn off onto that Demon Hunter. Or Mountain King, Demon Hunter, mana burn onto that Mountain King. No more Storm Bolts. Level 3 now trying to shake away. We see another Book of the Dead as the Goblin Tinker just going to run on its side here and then throw down another Pocket Factory. Most likely, there it goes. And now trying to go after those peasants. Another mana burn onto the Archmage. Archmage sitting at level 2, and now what is happening as the Book of the Dead is in position. Mountain King going after all of those units here. Demon Hunter trying to fight its way back out. Demon Hunter sitting at level 3 as the Clockwork Goblins are causing a little bit of problems. Stormbolt, but there's the bash onto the Goblin Tinker. All right, bash onto the Goblin Tinker, and that was the lucky bash that Bike needed. Mountain King now sitting at level 5, and the level 5 Goblin Tinker falls, giving level 3 to the Archmage. Oh, was that the reversal that he needed? Being able to, well, trying to be good at that point is the Archmage. Come on, Archmage, make it your way back out. At that point, Infi made sure that there was no mana for a Stormbolt, but you cannot account for bash, and that bash was exactly what the Mountain King needed to prevent that, prevent that right there. Demon Hunter still out onto the field, losing a level 5 Goblin Tinker is rather expensive. Goblin Tinker was resurrected. I guess Infi found a way to spend that extra 1,000 gold. Yeah, that third base up for Infi. He doesn't really care about gold all that much. He's just going to replenish his army and build it back faster. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter here going after and spreading that orb of venom across multiple units as the Tinker is now back out onto the battlefield and once again going to, well, try and finish off this expansion, get some damage onto those peasants. Those peasants, once those Clockwork Goblins explode, they end up killing all of these peasants because of that poison damage. Meanwhile, the flying machines overhead here, as we are looking at an Ancient of War joining in on the fight. There's a couple detonations as well, trying to finish all of these things off. Mountain King down to 110 mana, and, well, we'll have enough for a Stormbolt when the time comes. All right, main base is taking quite a bit of damage. We're looking at perhaps a Staff of Preservation. Are we going to see the Demon Hunter with that evasion? Yes, he is. How alive is he going to be? Goblin Demon Hunter down to 97, 90 hit points, down to 76. Staff of Preservation could be coming in here in just a moment. Down to, well, going back up again as we are looking at the Pocket Factory getting destroyed. All right, a new Pocket Factory could be added in this expansion, taking a lot of pressure as it is taken down pretty quickly. And what is Infi doing? Infi is just saying to himself, you know, that's not a problem at all. All I have to do is just still fight my way here. There is one Rifleman stuck right there. That Rifleman looks like it will get taken out. And, well, that Goblin Tinker could try and get up to level 6 here as the Demon Hunter is back away from all of the action here. Chimera is now being added. And, well, with flying machines already in position, these Chimeras will all pretty much get taken out. We are looking at the Corrosive Breath being upgraded. What is that about? I don't even see a Chimera out anywhere on the field. Why get Corrosive Breath before you even have any Chimeras out onto the battlefield? That is the question you have right now. There's 3 Chimeras. All right. Chimeras were actually hiding in the backfield, and Bike says, I've had enough of that. I don't need to stick around in this battle. I know what was going to happen. The economic advantage, a 7,000 gold or 7,000 resource difference between the two, giving Infi the ability to hide those Chimeras for and then just basically surprise his opponents. Who builds Chimeras into flying machines? Yeah. If it works, it works. Exactly. Like Goblin Tinker first in the Demon Hunter when you're playing human versus Night Elf on Terranistan. Yeah, I would have thought Warden, Solo Warden, Avatar of Vengeance, all of that. No. Goblin Tinker with on 3 bases with Chimeras. That's the way to go. Yeah, and no Robo Goblin at all. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.